Welcome to the Schtick. This is your host, Matthew Seth Ostrov. I have another awesome actor from Georgia. Please welcome Tony.
Pleased to be here.
Wonderful to have you, brother. And how's your week been?
It's good, man. Things are a little slow right now, so we're all just taking it moment by moment. But I had a good day. I built like a little cat patio,
I
a
see
catio for
that
my cat.
I see the cat on Instagram. What kind of cat
Yeah, I'm
is it?
building like a cat shelter, and it's like not super complicated, but it's pretty tedious, and it took me like a couple days because it's so many fucking pieces, dude. Can
It's
I
not.
curse, by the way?
Yeah, you can. Is this IKEA cat condo or is this what is this?
It's probably from China. I got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure. I got it
well,
on Amazon.
tariff to hell, probably, right? To the States?
Maybe, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know, maybe actually, yeah.
It would be. And what kind of cat did you have?
I have a brown tabby, they call him. He's actually black and gray and white, and he's really cute. That's the
That's
kind of cat
cool.
I always get. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a Siberian forest cat. So he's my little
Mm,
he's my guy. He sleeps with me in the bed. There they go when they go in the shower. That kind of cat. They go in the
that's so
snow. It's a
cute.
it's a lynx, mated
Oh
with a domestic
wow.
cat. They're native to Russia, the taiga forest.
Oh
So
wow.
that's my cat, and then I have a Siberian husky. So those are my animals. Those are
That's great. I love cats and dogs. Huskies are so cute.
they are that's good.
When dogs are good, they're great. When they're bad, they're a fucking nightmare.
Right.
I mean, cats too, quite frankly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Like if you
girlfriends.
get a cat who's like kind of sassy, kind of, you're like, this isn't that fun. Even my cat lately has been bad because he wants to go out a lot because there's a little cat who looks just like him
Hmm.
who started coming about 3 weeks ago. And so I was letting him out off and on, and then one night they fucking split, dude. Because I
Oh,
have them on a GPS tracker, and they were like on the other side of the neighborhood near kind of this retention pond, and I was just, he came home, of course, but I was freaking out.
but you
So
found them.
that's why he came home, but that's the thing. I went and found him several times. He knew where he was. He split, and I was like, but this could be one of those things where he never comes back. So I started building a little cat patio and like welcoming her around all the time and feeding her. So she comes back here all the time, no matter what, because she's like, oh, this dude's gonna feed me,
Oh, that's
you
good.
know?
I mean, you're the master control person, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So I'm just gonna ask you, so Atlanta kind of becoming the new Hollywood, can you explain the shift from LA to why everybody's moving from, Florida? Actors are coming, they're flocking to Atlanta. So what is Atlanta like? I've never been there myself. So what is the benefit to filming Atlanta over, say, Hollywood, in California?
Okay, well, it's a little bit different now, but you're basically going to save about 40 to 50% on production if you come here. The tax rebates, it's super easy to fly actors into Atlanta. Um, Everything's going to be cheaper here. The housing's going to be cheaper. The clothes, the wardrobe's going to be cheaper. Everything's cheaper. It's going to cost you $50,000 a day to rent a cafe in Hollywood. Closed down the street, I have no idea. And here it's like, oh yeah, we'll do it for you. Cool, yeah, no problem. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's like cool to them.
It's like our city. We shoot 20 Hallmarks, give or take. And
Yeah,
and
and
we're
people are like,
we're
"Oh, wow."
we have the same tax bracket in Canada because that's how we promote our city as well. Same thing.
Mhm.
So that's okay. So I understand why Atlanta's been the hotbed. It's also a very beautiful city. I've seen pictures. You
Yeah,
post
yeah.
you post waterfalls on Instagram. You post
Yeah, I mean it's got a downtown. It can be whatever you want it to be. It can be super rural or it can be super like city or it can be super kind of like funky city. It's got everything. Um Not to mention the people are chill here. And also, like, I just think LA hit its critical mass. Like, at a certain point, it's just too expensive. And they're not making $150 million movies anymore. I mean, a couple, 10 a year, right? The rest of them are like, how cheap can we make this now? Because we're putting it on Netflix. Or how cheap can we make this series? So I just think we're at a time now where, we basically went from three channels with a bunch of viewership. Then that viewership spread out to those three channels, to like six channels, and then 100 more channels, and then streaming services. And now we're in a consolidation phase where it's like, cool, that blew up. And now it's kind of consolidating again, you know?
Okay. And have you done work in LA as well?
Yeah, I've worked in New York, I've worked in LA, I've worked in Chicago, and I've worked in Florida.
Anywhere in Canada?
No, I was just thinking nothing film in Canada yet, but I've also booked out, filmed in Pittsburgh, filmed in North Carolina, filmed in Mississippi, filmed in New Mexico, filmed in South Carolina, filmed in, but that's all kind of considered the Southeast, you know?
You don't have a little globe and you put little tic tac and you go, this is where Tony's been around the world.
I should, man.
That's a good idea. Put it
I
by the cat.
should.
Put it by the cat condo.
Yeah, yeah, in the cat house
In the cat
outside.
house. So what sparked your interest in acting? Was it
Hold
something?
on one
Yeah,
second. And
yeah.
then I put up a little map of the neighborhood, and the cat can like touch where he's been in the neighborhood.
The GPS. See, it just give you ideas. It's good. This is how actors work. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so acting was always in your blood. Who inspired you, I guess, to get into the craft?
You know, that's great. My dad was very showy. My dad was like a natural born performer. He did magic when he was young. He was always showing us like sleight of hand and stuff like that, you know. And he was a singer, and he just is a performer, you know what I'm saying? Or was, I should say. And I remember he told me a joke when I was young, and he would get me to tell it to people, you know. So I should probably credit him a little bit, but I just kind of think you come to Earth and you are what you are, quite frankly.
Okay. Did you study theater growing up in school? Did you?
No, I mean, no, I didn't. But my sister was super into musical theater, and she studied drama. So every once in a while, my brother and I would like go be in a play or something, or I'd audition. Like I was in Oklahoma. I just thought it was fun and interesting, and I didn't think too much about it, you know, because I was in band. So I was like, oh, I thought I wanted to be a musician, you know.
Ah, see the long hair. That's where I got the band from. So we share
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
We share the Pirates of the Caribbean, which you haven't been on one of those yet, right?
No, not yet. I was pretty clean cut though back then. Really clean cut for most of my life until I started booking bad guys. And then I just started growing it out and growing it out and growing it out, you
And
know, and
and
it
that's
just,
and that's now your mantra, the mafia. So now
yeah.
you're doing the cop, you're doing the shooting, you're doing action thrillers, you're doing those kind of movies.
Yeah, I don't play cops, but um all bad guys.
All bad
Any kind
dudes.
of bad guy that you can imagine.
That's you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
That's good. So actors you look up to, like the ones who mentor you or the ones who you became friends with, because you can become friends with actors too, but who do you look up to as an actor, the other actors, and why do you like them so much?
Well, firstly, I want to say my acting teacher, Lauren O'Quinn, because she taught me, you know, she fostered a really good environment for me to learn and grow. You know, she was really strict, but also she didn't like hold your hand. You were kind of like, okay, you want to show up and do a garbage scene? Like, she's just like, hey, this ain't it. And it's good though, because it made you figure it out on your own. I'm not talking about we didn't talk our way through a scene and stuff, and I learned a bunch, but it took me a long time to get film acting. I was like a natural born. I worked at Universal Studios. I did live theater performance, and that just made sense to me. Like I would write all my monologues, I would figure out the accents, I would figure out the characters that I played, and I knew how to develop a character, but I didn't know how to make it work in the film world. I didn't know what film acting was. But she fostered a really good environment for that learning.
So her. And then
Yeah.
have you worked as a working actor? Because I've seen your shtick on you don't want to work as a waiter, you want to work all the time. And as a
Yeah.
working actor, all of us want to do eventually, right? I'm just beginning my
Yeah.
little adventure. You're more experienced than me by far, the veteran. Um, so who have you worked with? Have you worked with like any actors, A-list Hollywood people that you kind of resonated with on set, that you had a good chemistry with? That you became
Man,
friends with them in time?
yeah, I mean, I don't know about friends, but I worked with Jamie Foxx. That was really cool. And I told him, I
That's
was like,
cool.
hey, I was like, hey, dude, it's like an honor to work with you. And he's, they never take that compliment. They just don't.
Don't.
But I worked with Topher Grace, and he was like one of the chillest dudes ever. And I told him, I was like, hey, man, I appreciate you being like down to earth. He's like, hey, man, that means a lot to me. I was
Okay.
like, dude, because there's a lot of people who aren't. And he's like, yeah, man. He was the most down to earth dude. And then on that same project, I worked with Holt McElhaney, I think is his last name. I may be saying it wrong. He's a phenomenal actor, and he's just like an actor's actor. He has a thousand, every story he tells, you're just like, oh my God. And you can tell how much he cares about the craft, and that's how I am too. Every moment I'm like, how can we make this better? You know?
Yeah, because you always learn and grow. You never really stop at a plateau, just like a gym membership. I mean,
Yeah, no, there's no destination in acting. There's no destination.
so where did you hit your it took you time, I guess, to develop the fabric of layers to become an actor. How long did it take you to find that kind of aha, I figured it out part?
I'll let you know. Um, yeah, Holt McElhaney. I I will tell you that this is how my journey went. It was about 8.5 years in acting class, and I was doing a scene from Sex, Lies, and Videotape where I'm holding the camera and my scene partner's across the room, and I'm just asking her questions and she's responding. And I was like, oh, you just don't do anything. In a scene like that, you know what I'm saying? And then I was working on Bloodline, and we were doing all the flashback scenes. I was like playing the young dad. So me and the whole cast that I was working with was the younger version of the family. Sam Shepard, um, Linda Cardellini, Ben Mendelsohn, Norbert Leo Butz, Kyle Chandler. We were them as when they were younger in the 80s. So I had to think a lot about my backstory. And that's when I started working on backstory. And then I had an acting student who was like, oh, actually, I answered these 100 questions. And just over the years, backstory has become much more important to me. Like I kind of write out my whole life as the character now. And it's a lot of fun for me. It makes it like feel real. Like I feel like I'm not doing my homework if I don't show up with like I was born here. I went to school here. This is what happened. This is what just happened. This is what brought me here. I can fucking fake it, but I don't like to do that. I like to like show up and do my homework and exist as this character.
Yeah, much like a lot of actors I look up to, like Johnny Depp will walk as a pirate for a year before he shoots Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
That's dedication. I mean, not a PT
totally.
make fun of him, but I mean, he gets in character. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think that's how you get good. You got to practice, you know?
of course, and you can never not stop practicing, which all my acting friends
Yeah.
tell me, and that's good. So, any passion projects on the work? Have you gone into directing, producing, writing your own
Um,
things?
I've directed a couple things, but we're actually doing a night of one acts for charity on July 12th at my friend has an acting studio, and then they have a venue attached called the Warehouse. So that'll be fun. We're doing a scene from True West, and then we're doing like five one acts for charity that night. So that should be really cool. I wanted to do some good theater because, we don't always get the best scripts, and a lot of the roles you get, it's like the smaller the role, the more dialogue, the bigger the role, the less you have to do.
Hmm.
So if I'm on set for 5 weeks, I'm probably saying 6 lines. If I'm on set for one day, I'm doing a 3-page scene. You know what I'm saying, dude? That's just kind of how it goes,
Yeah,
you
that's
know, no matter how famous you are. I mean, sometimes I watch these Marvel movies and someone's in there and they have like 8 lines and they're like 30 times more famous than me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just how it goes. You have like five leads and then you have the supporting cast and you have this like the supporting cast. And then, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. I think if they do another Lord of the Rings, man, you in there.
Bro, they're doing one in England right now, and I'm like, I've been praying about it. I'm like, God, I'd love to. It's called the Seven Towers or something like that.
Another one. Yeah, I love those movies.
Yeah.
I met Gimli. My dad does the what's called the Championship Auto Shows World of Wheels. So I met Gimli. He's very short,
Oh
5'8",
man.
British guy,
Sorry, let me.
the guy with the axes. So they, yeah, I mean, my dream would be like, yeah, Marvel, Pirates of the Caribbean, Lord of the Rings. You know, like as an actor, there's where you those are the movies you love. I just saw Mission Impossible. Oh my God, Tom Cruise and those
Dude,
scenes. No, have you seen it yet?
say what you will about Tom Cruise,
Yeah,
socially, whatever, but like that dude, talk about dedication, man.
no kidding.
Like, first of all, everybody I talk to is like he's the hardest worker ever. And he'll practice a stunt for a year. You
Well,
know what I mean?
did you watch the movie?
I haven't seen it yet. No,
Okay,
no.
I won't spoil it for you, but they are insane things that, you know, I don't know how he does this and how he not die. You know, like, and God's plan for him, but I mean to save him, but I mean for the
Yeah.
movie, because the last one probably he'll make, I think, right? So
Is that what
just
it is?
a
The last one?
phenomenal movie, just amazing. I took my son. He hasn't seen a Mission Impossible. We saw it in the front row, seat all the way back because I've never sat in the front row before. We're on the right hand side, so it's curved. It was an experience to sit in the front row, also watching the movie. I'll see it again
Yeah.
because it. I was just excited the whole night. You know, like I've
That's
never.
awesome, dude. I love how passionate you are about it, man. I miss that, like that giddiness. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
I watch other actors, and you can tell when they're like what you're saying, when they're dedicated to the amount of movies, and you watch him when what he performs in that ab strength that you need to do as a gymnast when you're on a plane,
Yeah.
hanging
Hmm.
upside down, the thing spins. He's on it. You know, like how do you grab that? How do you grab it? Like, you know,
Dude, he's legit, man. You know what I'm saying?
he has his own plane, and he has a license. I really like him as an actor too. I think the Mission
Yeah.
Impossible franchise has gone beyond what it could do with the Jason Bourne and the John Wick,
Yeah.
you know, as of today.
Sure.
But so where's the future? You have an acting school as well, so I want to touch base on. I saw a lot of feedback like on your Instagram of women who you've changed their lives. It seems like on their feedback from LA. They came from LA. The Meisner 8. So talk about your class and what it offers.
Yeah, so basically I teach a Meisner class. It's an 8 hour Meisner class. We start with Meisner in the morning, and then we do a couple like neutral scenes, a couple exercises, and then we do monologues in the afternoon, and then we finish with some emotional stuff. So basically we start with like an emotional warm up, and then I teach people how to apply it.
Okay, that's the
You know what I'm
magic.
saying? Because here's the thing as an actor, you have to learn to be the dude in the street who's screaming, ah, they're coming, they're coming. And you have to learn how to be like, I'm acting right now. And this is like, I'm just acting right now. You have to do everything from 0 to 100. You have
Right.
to know how to do everything in between. Because especially doing co-stars and guest stars, you're going to be doing some crazy stuff. You're going to show up and they're going to be like action and you're going to be crying about your son in the hospital, and you're gonna have 6 lines to get there, maybe one. You know, somebody else said this. Some famous actor was like, "Man, you guys got it tough. You got to show up, action, start crying because my son this, because my son that." You know what I'm saying?
I read it
That's
in my
hard, man.
it's in my acting book, the acting Bible. I'm reading this bad boy.
Mhm.
And it talks about Stella Adler. It talks about all the different method acting and
Yeah,
way to go. And I think Meisner is good, very good one as well to study all of them and to develop that emotional cue. And my acting
I
classes,
think people are a little confused about method acting,
okay,
and the reason I say this is because I've heard Vincent D'Onofrio talk about this. I don't think method acting means, oh, I stayed in character for 6 weeks. I think method acting is, acting isn't thinking, it's being. So creating a character where you feel like you're one and the same physically. So you can check into the body, the voice, the mentality, the psyche, all of the things, the heart. You have to just feel it. And some people play a lot of characters that are just left of them. But people who play characters like uh Antonio Banderas or like just anybody who plays like, oh, I'm watching this person play a character. Viola Davis. Meryl Streep, people who are like, oh, they're that's not them. Al Pacino, Robert De Niro. You have to find it within your body and exist in that space. And so to me, Lee Strasberg wasn't talking about going and living as a Navajo Indian for 6 months. What he was talking about is checking into your physical body to make sure you're staying present. That was the main purpose of all acting teaching is to teach us to stay present and trust your instincts. That's all Stanislavski cared about. Staying present and letting your subconscious work. But if you're not in your body and you're nervous and you haven't done your work and you haven't done your emotional warm up, you haven't done this, you haven't done that, you haven't lived at the person a little bit, then you're not going to be able to check in. But I look at what Denzel Washington did with Malcolm X, and I look at what Daniel Day-Lewis was, and I'm like, that's what we do. I'm not saying he's not an incredible actor, but I'm like, that's what you're supposed to do when you act. If it's not that, then you're faking it.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's what we do. I put my hair back, I put on a suit, I create a backstory. I live as this like Russian character, and then I go play him.
Yeah, I've seen the accent's good.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I feel like I nailed it on SWAT.
You got it.
Like I
I watched
got it
it.
where it's like not too much, but also just enough.
It was good. It wasn't overpowered Moscow. It was
Thanks, man. Yeah, I saw it and I
okay.
was like, God, I think I finally, after doing it for like 10 years, I think I finally
What
think I
what
got it.
what other accents have you mastered?
Um, I'm good at playing like a country dude from like the south of, I guess I should say, United States.
Yeah.
Um, I have a pretty good Southern accent. Um, I like my Russian guy a lot. Yeah, I think those two are what I did an Italian. I had to do a episode for 12 an audition for 12 episodes of General Hospital the other day. Was it General Hospital? Yeah. And I did an Italian dude. So that was fun. Italian
How
accent, Italian language a little bit. I do a pretty good French accent too. Yeah.
about British?
I do Cockney.
Okay.
I also do Portuguese,
Oh,
Brazilian, and then Spanish and a Hispanic accent.
okay. That's
But
fun.
some of the you don't get that call. The one I get called for all the time is Russian or Southern guy.
Well, because that's your main
I
one.
just think those are the main. They always have country dudes and they always have Russian bad guys.
Right.
Always.
In all
You know
crime
what I
in,
mean?
in all crime movies.
Yeah, because you can't. Okay, if you're making a movie now and you need a bad guy, you're not using a Hispanic dude. You're not using an African American dude. You're not using an Afro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's Russian is one where no one's going to be like, oh, that's offensive. You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to think like, oh, how does this look? Do I have a white character chasing an African character? Like, that's not really. So let's make them Eastern European, and then case closed. And then we can have an African American lead or an African British lead, whatever they call them in like African Americans in England, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then because people think about that stuff, people look at a movie and they're like, wait a minute, dude. Like my brother tells me about that stuff all the time because he's a professor. So he's always think about that stuff and he'll be like, oh, so the white dude comes in and saves the African American lady. Oh, okay. When have we seen that? You know what I mean, dude? People, so I think a Russian is just like, oh, we'll just make him a country dude POS. Or make him a Russian bad guy, sex trafficker. And no one's gonna be like, oh, why are you always making country white dudes the bad guy? No one's ever gonna say that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
That's funny. And that's okay, so that's all of you. That's good. That's amazing. So what's the future for you? You think uh your school's going well. When did you start your school, your acting school?
so I basically started teaching. I coached Meisner in Orlando for like 2 years as a part of my teacher's acting school with my friend Paul. And then when I came to Atlanta, my friend Jesse, who owns Get Seen Studios down here, he asked me if I wanted to come teach a class at his school. So I taught there for 10 years. No, eight, whatever, until the pandemic. And then we went to at a 3-day workshop for about 4 years. And now I just teach out of my own, like my own business. I teach like once a quarter, um, or whenever I'm feeling inspired.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to bring you to Canada so you can meet
Yeah, that'd be
another.
awesome, man. Honestly, I was gonna teach one in June, but I'm like, I don't want to teach an acting class when I'm not feeling inspired to do it. I don't want to do it for the money. I want to teach a class where I'm like, I gotta teach again. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's in you to give as an actor. That's what a lot of good actors that I know, they
Thanks.
start schools because they help other
Yeah.
actors and you give back
Yeah.
and you
And I
grow
know
other
how to look at
actors,
someone's acting and be like, no, stop acting. Just be yourself.
which a
You know
lot
what I'm
of
saying?
acting
I'm
coaches
really
say.
good at that.
Yeah, no, I can see it in the scenes that you have on Instagram that you put a lot of passion. I can see it,
Yes.
and a lot of, and as you say, backstory, which I have to learn how to do
Yeah.
myself. You have to develop
Yeah.
your character and live the
Yeah.
character, and exactly what you said, where he lives, where he went to school, what he had for breakfast,
Yeah.
who he dates, who's his girlfriend, who he dumped. Like
Yeah,
you
his
need to know.
hurts, his embarrassments, and you know, I'm probably an overactor. That's what I wanted to say. I love doing more. They're always like, do less, do less. And I'm like, oh, I love doing more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a friend like that. My buddy Mike, he does a lot of backstory. He has like 35 years of he went to Vancouver Film School.
Oh,
He
beautiful.
was
Yeah.
my inspiration when I got into acting in my 40s.
Mm.
Was he's a good mentor. He's a jewel of a guy, very down to earth, like how you speak about actors.
Yeah.
Who gives you advice, who will tell you to do this, and that you have to train all the time. That actors forget that they have to train. You know,
Yeah. Well, even when it's slow, I make sure I get at least one audition a week. I don't care if it's an independent film that shoots in like, I did one the other day that's like an independent film that shoots in uh Tennessee and I did one the other day that shot in like Maryland. I was like, I don't care, man. I need an audition once a week so I can practice what I'm doing, practice my craft, you know?
yeah. I also saw. So you're in martial arts. You surf,
Yeah.
yoga, right? What other things do you do keep balanced in
Snowboard. I do
snowboard?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu. I practice Muay Thai on my own. I swim. And I rode motorcycles for a while, but I'm in the off season for motorcycles right now.
Okay. So let's touch on the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My little niece is in San Diego. They're in Brazilian. Is that what you recommend? I'm looking at a martial art myself. Is that the martial art that you recommend for actors?
Muay Thai and BJJ,
Okay.
those two.
Muay Thai kickboxing to take a
Yeah,
punch.
because Muay Thai is super effective and pretty translatable because you learn how to kick and punch and block. And the cool thing about Muay Thai is there's a lot of different blocks. So you can make it look fancy and stuff. And also you still learn to jab, cross, slip, slip. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what you use when you're doing action films when you're in that scene. I mean,
Yeah,
that's where it
yeah.
trains you. Weapons training, you did weapons training for gun use and all and everything?
Yeah, I trained for weapons. I was in the United States Army, so we
Oh,
learned
you
how
were
to
in the
shoot in.
army too.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Were you in the Canadian Army?
No, no, never. My dad was
Is
in the
that like a
Navy.
thing?
It is, but my dad was in there. He shot at his commanding officer. That was my father's life. I'm not going to go into the army, I don't think. But you did
Okay,
you did
okay.
the army too. So that kind of
Yeah, I
what
was
did
in the
that
Army,
what
yeah.
did that do for Tony?
You know what it did? It made me realize that when I'm not in a good situation to get out because I did not fit in there and it was not the place for me. And so I got out as quickly as possible. And now every time I'm in a situation, even at a party where I'm like, oh, I don't want to be here. Peace. I'm gone. And I don't mean like, oh, later, babe. I don't mean like that. I mean like when you're in a situation, you're like, no, this isn't the right job for me. I need to go. Or like I taught a free class the other day, and I'm just like, I'm not doing this again. It just it wasn't a good idea. It didn't feel right. I don't force things. And the army was really, I just didn't fit in, man. I didn't vibrate there, so I had to get out. But I got to spend a year in Korea, And I love soldiers. Um, and I met some really cool people and worked with some great people, and I got to spend a year in Korea, but the army and I were not a good fit.
How about Army films?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know I wanted to be an actor until after I got out of the army. So,
Okay. Maybe that will be future you. You know, you've gone to the criminal Tony the Russian. Now you can be like army soldier Tony.
yeah, maybe. I auditioned for a soldier the other day and they were like, he doesn't look like a soldier. I go, I am a soldier. I still have my rank. So that's fucking offensive. But also, I don't care. I didn't want to do the role anyway.
You can throw
Whatever.
your little dog tags out, go, look.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told my agent, I was like, they know I'm a soldier, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How long have you been with your agent?
Oh man, since 2012.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, they're great.
Where did you meet him or her?
Well, my agents in Atlanta, um, they found me because they needed a soldier, ironically, who spoke Spanish. So it was for a show. So they're like, "Hey, do you want us to start sending you auditions?" I was like, "Yeah." And then the current agents bought the agency from the then owners, and they like it's one of the best agencies in Atlanta now, privileged talent. Yeah.
I
They're
look
just
for
hard workers and they're cool dudes. I'll never leave them. I don't care how famous I get. I'm never going to like CA or Warren Motors. I do not care.
I look forward to visiting Atlanta.
Yeah.
I'll spend some time with you and Ed, my two buddies from Georgia.
Sweet, man. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, for being on the show. You've taught our viewers a lot, I'm sure. And you taught me a lot too. You're a wonderful human being, bro.
I
And
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
keep on shining on, as we say. And yeah, it was wonderful to have you on as a guest. And
Thanks, dude.
you bring a lot of inspiration, as I interview
Yeah, man,
different
I appreciate
actors.
your energy, dude. You're a good representative for Canada, dude. I would say if I was like had to describe what are Canadians like, I'd be like this dude right here. Oh yeah, sure, great, man. I saw this movie. I was like, I love your child. You have like a childlike energy that's refreshing.
Thanks, man. No, I mean,
Yeah.
we're all like, Winnipeg is friendly. You're not every city's
Yeah.
the same as you
Okay.
travel. We're the friendly ones. The Winnie the Pooh's
I'll
come
come to,
here. Winnie the Pooh's from our city, right? Because we have,
okay, I'll come to Winnipeg because that sounds I need to be around nice people.
we'll bring you. We're all the nice. We're the nice
Mhm.
ones. We don't say
Okay,
sorry
good.
all the time, like
Sorry.
we're just
Sorry.
nice. Yeah, Canadians. All right,
That's so
brother.
funny.
Have a wonderful
All right,
rest
homie.
of your week. We'll keep in touch. Build your cat condo from IKEA,
Yeah, yeah.
and then develop that globe with the traveling Tony.
Hey, let me just get what's Canadians' opinion of America right now? Are you guys just like, what is happening down there? Is it about to implode?
Well, LA, we're watching that explode. The tariffs, we know everything's going to equalize negotiations with our prime minister and Mr. Trump.
Mhm.
I think they have to. I'm not sure, bro. I mean, the world is kind of crazy, and we're looking at it like, okay, what's coming? We're not the 51st state. We're not for sale. So
Yeah, for sure.
that's
Yeah.
that's my
I mean, we're
opinion.
all feeling that same way. We're just like, I asked a checkout guy the other day. I was like, bro, does America still exist? He's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know how much longer we have, dude. I was
You
like,
can
I think we'll make it to the end of the year. He's like, I don't know. I
you
don't
can
know. I
always
don't know.
you can always move to Canada.
I might. Actually, it's a little cold there to tell you the truth.
You just get long johns. You're fine,
Six
bro.
months in Vancouver and then 6 months in like Puerto Rico, maybe.
Yeah. All right.
All
Thanks,
right, homie,
bud.
take care,
Thanks,
bro.
buddy. I'll
My
just
pleasure.